Now may the peace of God which goes beyond our mortal understanding continue to be with you. My name is Gideon Highlander and you are welcome to AYM Frequency. So in today's edition of my progressive class lessons, we are going to take time to explain certain outdoor terms that usually confuses most pathfinders and adventurers. These terms are walk, hike, trek, tramp, and pilgrimage. These terms can easily confuse any pathfinder or adventurer, and even sometimes new and young master guys, because there are little similarities in this. But I believe that at the end of today's lesson, you would be able to clearly know the difference between these terms, and you will also be able to explain these terms. So let's move on to the first term, which is walk. Now, when we say a walk, it is taking steps on a smooth surface which has little or no obstacle for a few hours or minutes. So when we say someone is going for a walk, it's basically moving along a clear, smooth surface or path which is devoid of obstacles for some few minutes or at most some hours. So the characteristics of walking is that the path must be smooth and you spend some few minutes or hours, and you do not carry so many things with you. You do not need any special gear or equipment to help you walk. What then is the purpose of a walk? We walk to exercise, we walk to enjoy the community or the environment or our surrounding. We also walk to engage in a purposeful act, like going to buy something or going to escort a friend or going to get something from somewhere. That is the reason why we do that for some few minutes or at most an hour. When you engage in this activity, then we say you are walking. Because of that, you do not even need any special equipment or gear to help you walk as a pathfinder. I believe you now understand what walking is. Now let's move on to the next thing. That is hike. When we say we are going for a hike in the Adventist Youth ministry or in the outdoor, hiking is the upgraded version of a walk. It is walking in the next level. What do I mean? Hiking is walking on an uneven surface which has obstacles, and walking for so many hours to at most a day. And because you'll be walking for several hours or for at most a day, that is 24 hours, you will need to carry along certain essential items to help you pass through all these uneven surface which has a lot of obstacles. You need certain things like a backpack that can help you carry your first aid kit, because when you are walking on the uneven surface or when you are approaching all these obstacles, you might get hurt. What then is the characteristic of a hike? You need special equipment like a very good footwear, a very good shoe, hiking shoe. You need a backpack. You need certain key essentials like a water bottle or first aid kit, and sometimes even a food to help you. One other essential characteristic of hiking that distinguishes it from walk is that usually hiking has trails, or we do hikes on a trail. You might ask, what then is the meaning of a trail? A trail is a path that has signs and symbols to help you navigate the path. there are signs and symbols on the path to help you know that this area is a no trespass zone. This area has cattle crossing. Take the left path or the right direction. These are signs that we put on a path to help you navigate the path very well. So we call it a trail. That is the reason why in the youth ministry, when we are going for hiking, we put all these signs there to help you navigate the path and know whether you are on the right path or not. Hence, we call it track trailing. It means tracking the trail, finding the trail. That is the reason why there are so many hiking signs that we learn. When you are walking, you don't need a sign because it will just be for a short distance and for some few minutes. But when you are hiking, it is for long distance, long hours, up to even a day. That is the reason why you need signs to help you navigate the way. And also because the path is not smooth. It is very rough with so many obstacles. That is the reason why you also need a very good shoe and you need to come along with some essential. So what then is the purpose? We hike to also enjoy nature. We also hike to exercise. We hike to also challenge ourselves physically and mentally. Now, because a hike is walking for at least a day, it can be in the night or it can be daytime. Hence, there are two main types of hiking. We have daytime hiking and nighttime hiking. So hiking can be done at daytime or at night. So far as it is walking for multiple hours on a path that is not smooth and cleared for you, that has obstacles and that also has trail or signs for you to navigate, it is a hike, whether day, evening or night time. Now, I believe you now know the difference between hiking and walking. Let's move on to the next term that confuses a lot of pathfinders and adventurers. That is trek or trekking. So just as hiking is the upgraded version of walking, trekking is also the upgraded version of a hike. You see, when you are trekking, you are going on a hike or a walk for multiple days or multi-days. That means if you are hiking for 2 or 3 days in an area where there is no means of transport, in an area where the path is not even clear for you, where you need to even clear the path yourself and now mark the path with signs or trails, and you need to carry so many essential items with you, then you are trekking. Do you now see the difference? Exactly so. So when we are going for hiking for several days, 2 or 3 days, it is not just a hike, it is called trekking. When you hike for 1 or 2 days continuous, it is trekking. And if this hiking involves you now clearing the path and making the path yourself and carrying a lot of essential items in your backpack because you know that your destination is not even known, or even if your destination is known, you might not get certain essential items there, then keep in mind that you are no more engaging in a hike, you are rather trekking. In fact, trekking is usually common with people living in areas, especially rural areas, where there is no means of transport. And as such, and because of that, they need to travel for several days from their community through bushy and hilly grounds to another community or at a point where they will get a means of transport. So you also know that if we can hike in the day, evening or night, and trekking is hiking for several days then it means we can have evenings and night time in our trek. So there can be day trekking, evening trekkings, and night trekkings. It can be done at any time of the day. I believe you now know the meaning and the difference between a hike, a walk, and a trek. So you can now clearly distinguish between these three. Let's move on to the next term then. The next term is tramp. Tramp is a unique term for either hiking or trekking in New Zealand. This is a term very common to pathfinders and adventurers and master guides and other outdoor lovers who reside in New Zealand. People in New Zealand prefer to call a hike or trekking as tramp. That is how they like to define this. So tramping is hiking or trekking in New Zealand. It's as simple as that. That means that if we are to communicate with our fellow pathfinders and adventurers or master guides or young adults or ambassadors in New Zealand, and we tell them that, hey, come and join us for a hike in Ghana or in Africa, they will say, hike? Do you mean tramp? Yes. When they say tramp, don't be confused if you are living in any part of the world apart from New Zealand, because that is the New Zealand term for a hike or trekking. I believe it is getting interesting, right? And I hope you now know the difference and the meaning of tramp, trek, hike, and walk. Good. Let's move on to another term that has also become very common with outdoor lovers, especially in Ghana and especially in the Adventist Youth Ministry. It is called Exodus. Yes, Exodus. You see, the mere mention of Exodus sparks some euphoric feeling as Seventh-day Adventist. Why? Because it is a biblical term for a mass departure or migration or movement of people from one geographic area to another geographic area. In the context of youth ministry and in the context of outdoor adventure, Exodus is a type of hiking that involves a large group of youth members, purposely master guides, because of the nature of the hike or trek. That involves a large group of master guides on a hike or a trek that is not planned. Yes, and the purpose of this is for discovery and adventure. So when a large group of master guides, typically one district or a federation or multiple federations or districts come together and engage on a hiking or a trekking that is not planned, but for the purpose of adventure, discovery, and learning, we call it Exodus. It means that they will be moving from one area to another area, making stops and continuing the following days from that till they get to a destination where they are okay and they settle and do whatever activity, whatever final activity they want, and then return. It means that it is characterized by long walks, multiple days, difficult terrains, so many obstacles, clearing of path on uneven surfaces. It means people will need to carry backpacks with a lot of gear and essential items in it. They need to come along with their sleeping gear. They must get correct shoes, and they must come with, clearing tools like cutlasses so that they can clear the path as they move along. In modern day Adventist Youth Ministry, Exodus can be done in a very unique way. You see, to prevent some master guys getting injured, instead of going on an unknown path, you can decide to say, we can decide to plan it such that we know of certain path. We use Google Map to navigate our way from one area to another area, but we do not know what will happen in that area because we do not plan and we do not even scout the area before the journey was done. You know, hiking involves scouting the place so that we can put the trails there. But with Exodus, there is no scout, there are no trails, and the journey is unplanned. Trust you me, it becomes exciting. In fact, it is like the survivor camping version of hiking. Yes, you can call it survivor hike, but we prefer to call it Exodus. Okay, good. Now, I believe you are now getting to know, you are now getting to understand these terms, and you can clearly explain them. Now, let's move on to the last term, which is pilgrimage. Pilgrimage is a long walk, a hike, or a trek with a purpose in mind to fulfill a religious obligation. And it is characterized by trekking or hiking to very specific or clearly defined locations, because it is motivated by religion or it is motivated by faith. When I say faith, it can be the Christian faith, it can be the Islamic faith, it can be the traditional faith, it can be any other religion we have on this earth. Because it is motivated by any of these religions, you know the exact location you are going, but then the purpose is not for sightseeing, the purpose is not for exercise, the purpose is not for discovery, it is to achieve a religious purpose known to the one who is embarking on this hike. It can be done alone or it can be done as a group. It can be done as a group. So the question is, do pathfinders engage in pilgrimages? I don't think so. I've never heard of a pathfinder or Adventist Youth Ministry engaging in pilgrimage, because we do not have a specific place where we go to fulfill a religious duty in the Seventh-day Adventism. But we have our brothers and sisters in Islam who engage in pilgrimage. They go to Mecca to fulfill a religious obligation. And there are other religious groups who also do that. But the fact that we do not engage in pilgrimage doesn't mean that we shouldn't learn about it, because it is an outdoor activity. It is an outdoor term. Hence, you and I, who are experts in outdoor and recreation, must know the meaning of this term so that we'll be able to explain to those who do not know. Good. So I believe you now know the difference, the clear difference between a walk, a hike, a trek, a trampo or tramp, an exodus, and a pilgrimage. And I believe you can clearly explain or easily explain this to your colleague pathfinder or your little brother or sister in the Adventure Club. This is all that we have for you. In our next lesson, we are going to talk about hiking. This time around, we are going to talk about night hiking. The do's and don'ts, what it's all about, and what will make it enjoyable. If you like today's video, kindly share with a friend. Type in the comment section if you know of any other outdoor term and explain it. And also click on the notification button if you have not subscribed to this channel, so that we can grow as a community. Once again, may the peace of God, which goes beyond our mortal understanding, be with you. Please stay away from harmful drugs. Stay away from alcohol. Stay away from narcotic drugs. Okay? Stay away from abusing prescription drugs, because if you abuse drugs, if you abuse anything, it will abuse you. Bye-bye.